Hey guys, it's MugenLord here, and I'm back again with another discussion video. And today, I would like to talk about game consoles. I'm a bit concerned for them today because I grew up playing game consoles since I was 4 years old, when my father first graced me with the NES controller and I played The Legend of Zelda for the first time. And man, there were some amazing moments to remember, and the experience was just so, it was just so great, at that time to be a kid. And then when I received my first console, which was the Sega Genesis, I've also had gotten the Sonic the Hedgehog, and I have built many memories with my first console. And today things are just changed. There's a shift, and why I'm so concerned for consoles, well, we all know last gen had lasted for almost a decade, and there were plenty of factors that influenced that. One of them being that we were in a recession and many consumers and gamers held back from investing in game consoles. But if they did, they'd normally stick with one console for the rest of the generation cycle, and pretty much their household would just share that console. And then the technology was just too expensive to incorporate them in these consoles without having to increase the console's prices while in the recession. So it just made sense for Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo to keep pressing forward with what they had. But Nintendo had no real incentive to rush into a new console, especially when they were dominating sales. And yes, I do know that doesn't mean it was a great console, and I do believe that the Wii success was a fluke, but I can save that for another day and another topic. But when the three game companies have finally announced their next generation hardware, I was really excited, and I was ready for what the future of console gaming had in store for us, since it's been a decade that we had the PS3, the Nintendo Wii, and we had the Xbox 360. So I was ready. It was about time for us to move on, and I'm pretty sure game developers really wanted to move on because they pretty much tapped into the limits of those consoles. So then when they first, announced these consoles, especially the first up was Nintendo Wii U, I was suddenly disappointed, during the Wii U's launch, and there was nothing that wowed me as far as the games. But then I said to myself, well, there's the Xbox One and there's the PS4 right around the corner, and they were coming out just around the right time because I finally graduated from college, and now I can focus heavily on building my business and my YouTube channel, and I can make time for gaming, on my spare time. The E3 approached us, and I finally had the opportunity to see what Microsoft and Sony had for us gamers in terms of power and new gaming experiences. But then I was left empty, The jump from last gen to this generation of consoles weren't that huge of a leap compared to the PS2 to the PS3 and the Xbox to the Xbox 360. Then not only that, I discovered that these next gen consoles are still barely pulling off native 1080p resolution and a stable frame rate of 60 frames per second. So I found myself within the past 5 years spending more time on my PC than consoles. Not just gaming on PCs, but my whole entire routine can be done on my PC. I create YouTube videos, I develop short films on my PC, I play Mugen on my PC. I can do it all in one place. Which brings me to, I've watched Review Tech USA, Black Bond, Broken Games HD, and a couple other gaming YouTube channels, and these guys, pretty much game on PCs, and it sparked my interest to spend more time to invest in a better PC. Now Sony and Microsoft have announced their beefed up upgrades of their current generation consoles, which were first seen as rumors, but now it's a reality. How much time do consoles have left before they fade from existence? Now consoles are needed for upgrades as if they are gaming PC rigs, and it sounds a bit desperate at this point. The simplicity of consoles is what kept me gaming on consoles, and I avoided PCs just because of that, because I can get the console, I know what I'm getting, and I know it's going to last me into the next generation, compared to a PC where, if I want to get the best experience, I want to upgrade, and if I upgrade, I'm ensured that I can be able to play, for the next couple of years, with these games. Now Microsoft and Sony have released these upgrades, so what is the point of having a console when you can do better? You can have a better experience when playing on a PC. Yes, I know that, consoles have exclusives, but how long will that last before everything begins to cross over to the PC? Microsoft is already releasing their games on both Xbox One and the PC in order to keep everything connected together with their live gaming services. Then we still know nothing about the Nintendo NX, but it looks like Nintendo is slowly shifting strictly over to the mobile market. So where do we go from there? I never imagined the day that I would build a PC of my own, but I've been slowly beefing up my current PC and have been learning how to put in my own parts. So once I fully get into building my own rigs, I don't know what to do anymore as far as gaming on consoles, but I will probably still have a Nintendo console because of their first party games. But why Microsoft and Sony when most of their third party games have PC versions besides their exclusives? I can see the future for these three gaming giants becoming strictly a streaming subscription service, but I can see them providing some kind of stream box with a controller, and you can download from them digitally or subscribe to them in order to game as much as you want from them. But I don't know anymore, and it's sad that I can't see what's going to happen within the next 5 years from now with these consoles. So tell me your thoughts on the future of console gaming. Can these companies squeeze 2 to 3 more generations out of them, or do you think this is the last generation for consoles? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and if you have a topic you would like for me to discuss, then leave it in the comments as well. This is MugenLord signing off.